Hey guys, it's Rich Boy J here, back again with another video, and this is going to be part 15 of the Crait MOC build series. I got my boyo chain on today because I'm feeling good about this MOC right now. This thing is just looking so amazing right now. We got a whole bunch of work done last week. We got a lot of the trench done on that side, as well as this square right here under my arm finished up. We also were able to get a bunch of work done on this turret, so I'm going to be able to show you guys a lot of that as well, and just kind of give you guys a good perspective of where we're kind of heading with this MOC. I know I've said before that we are, making good progress, but I'm realizing now more than ever that we are converging upon our first convention that we're going to take this to, which is going to be in July. So we're going to have to start ramping up the progress a little bit and trying to get a lot more things done on this MOC. I got a couple ships to design. We have a giant cave and mountain area to just fill with all sorts of details and stuff like that. So we got a lot of work to do, but it's a very exciting time for this MOC, and I can't wait to show you guys what we've done this week. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. Alright, so I know this video is uploading very late throughout the day, but I had to basically pull myself away from the MOC in order to get this thing filmed because I wanted to get a lot of progress done on the turret. But before we get to that, I just wanted to show you guys that we started working on trench section 3 out of 4, which is very exciting because the trenches are almost done and we can, finally proceed to the more, intricate part of the MOC, which is going to be the caves. But the kind of disappointing thing is that we actually ran out of these cheese slopes to be able to do a lot more of the details in the tunnels. So that part of the MOC is going to have to be put on halt for a little bit until we get another order of cheese slopes in. But just to give you guys a general idea of how this thing is actually going to work, so I've shown you guys on this side over here, there's this little pop-up section. Bib ain't gonna be too happy about that. Anyways, so there's this little tunnel here, and it's basically gonna have another tunnel that it connects to that leads over here to this side of the MOC. And I also realized that on the last update, this is one of the new things that we added to the MOC, but I didn't really show you guys too much of it. But this is going to be a tunnel that is exposed on the sides, and it's basically just going to lead into the base back here. But the other tunnel on the other side is also going to lead to this one, and it's basically going to be the exact same thing mirrored on the other side. So that tunnel is going to go that way to the edge of the MOC, just to give you guys a view of the tunnels without us having to pull up the sections. It'll just be, right there for you to look at. So pretty cool, I think. And let's go ahead and move on to the turret section. So right now, this has to be the most interesting square of the MOC so far. I'm sure you guys are noticing that this is the scene where Poe hops out of his ski speeder, runs into the trench, and does a cool little slide move into it. So we've been able to replicate that. We got the ski speeder sitting right there, and it's basically just getting pushed by that battering ram cannon, and these guys are getting out of dodge. They're all heading out of the trenches to evacuate back to the base, and all in all, I think this actually looks very cool. One of the things that we also did add to it was that we added some skid marks beneath it, and the idea is that this is going to actually be moved further over here on the second day when we display the MOC at the convention. So the idea is that, as is right now, it's kind of hidden, but once it moves further over, it looks more obvious, like, oh, it skid across the salt into the trench. It's not the most, elaborate way to detail this, but we didn't want to have too many excess skid marks that would be visible while it's just sitting right here. So this is the compromise that we kind of had to make, and all in all, I'm pretty happy with it. One thing I also do want to show you guys while this is kind of just sitting here connected with the other parts of the trenches is that you can just see through the door in the beneath the turret into the other side of the trenches, and I think it just looks so cool. Oh, we got a little surprise right there. But yeah, I think that's a really cool view of the MOC, and I'm super happy that we can finally be able to look at something like that. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to move this stuff off of this trench so I can give you guys a detailed look at this square as well as the turret. So where do I even begin with this thing? I guess I'll first show you guys some of the exterior details that I added in. So last update, you guys saw that the door section was pretty much the most detailed and color correct part of it. It still looks pretty much the same, but one of the cool things I was actually able to add are the pipes. So these pipes in the front area, this is kind of my idea to implement them because this one kind of curves off that way and this one just comes straight down. If you look over here on the actual turret, you can see that that's exactly what they look like. So really happy I was able to implement that. And then also moving to the other side over here, you can see that there's this pipe that kind of goes down there. And I mean, can I just say for 1 second how much I love this piece? Like, it's a relatively new piece, but I'm so glad Lego added it to the catalog, because it's something that has really been lacking, and there was really nothing else to substitute it with. So it serves a very unique purpose for any person who builds MOC. So that pipe is basically this one right here on the side of the turret. So happy I was able to add that in. Another cool thing that I was able to add to the MOC was these like pipes that go through the inside of the window. So that, I feel, it looks so cool kind of at a pulled back view. It gives, I don't know, the turret a lot more depth, makes it look like there's, you know, a lot going on the inside of it. It's not just kind of an exterior thing. And those are actually seen right here through these windows. So super happy I was able to add that in as well. I really tried to get as many details in this thing as possible, and you'll kind of notice that throughout the entire thing. Like I did mention last time, I wanted to have some like chips away at the paint on the side, and was able to add that in as well, so it doesn't look, you know, brand new and perfect. So then moving around to this other side, this is kind of the front area. So obviously the top is unfinished. It will be finished, have no fear, guys. But added some details like right here. It's kind of supposed to be some indentures, as in, I guess, you know, some lasers could have been shot at the front of the bunker. I think it looks pretty nice there. And then as we move down in here, you can see me and the boyos chilling, getting ready for the battle. Got that nice wire hanging from the top. And then there are some details in there as well, like the door. I'm going to actually open this up in a little bit so you guys will be able to get a better view of that and some better lighting. But before I do that, I'm going to move around back to this other side. Now, one thing that I thought was very interesting was that this turret is not symmetrical, like, at all. There are a lot more details on that right side than there is on this left side. So I didn't really notice that until pretty deep into the build process. I'd already ordered parts to basically be able to do everything I did on the other side on this side, and then when I got them in, I realized, oh crap, it's not like that. And you can see it here in this screenshot that I have from the movie. It's not a great picture, but you can see basically on the other side of the turret, there aren't as many details on it. Actually, that's like not a great picture at all. But the one thing you absolutely can see is that orange stripe is not down the side, which is one of the big parts of it. But then it also doesn't have that one part that kind of jets out from the side. It doesn't have this right here on the other side. So I thought that was interesting, but I won't babble on about that anymore. So basically, added the pipes into the window on this side as well. Added some dark tan in there to kind of give it like a rusted look. And then kind of did the same thing with the studs and the orange section right there to make it look a little bit damaged. And all in all, I think this thing looks just beautiful. This has been one of the most exciting parts for me to work on this MOC. I feel like I've been able to add so many details into it, and you guys haven't even seen me take it apart yet. So let's go ahead and look at the inside of it. I want to try to do this with one hand. I know it was a little bit easier the last time because there wasn't as much going on with it, but I'm going to try not to destroy this thing on camera. So that pops off, and then if you come, I'll show you guys the front first. These are just some details. And that's supposed to be a door that basically leads from out here to the inside of the bunker. And shout out to Battlefront 2 for giving me some pretty good views at the inside of this MOC. So as you can see, the inside is pretty unfinished. There's not really much to look at now. Garrett and I are going to take a crack at that and, you know, fill that out at some point. But didn't want to do that. Wanted to do more of the exterior today. But one of the cool things about the MOC is that you can see here, there's actually a ladder that goes straight down to the lower level. Because, you know, when building this, it's like, okay, how do they actually get to the inside of it? So what we did was we added this floor, and these slopes are not going to be there. That's just for me to be able to pick it up. It'll be something actually that makes sense there. But basically, you can see there's a door at the very bottom, and I guess you can kind of see it through there. And I guess the idea is that they would actually, like, come through here, go through that door on the inside, and then that door would take them to that ladder, and then they just climb up and be able to access all of the levels of this turret. So super happy I was able to incorporate that. I think just the amount of detail in this turret alone is pretty incredible. I think the color scheme looks beautiful with that orange stripe that goes up and then the one that goes across the entire turret. And all in all, I'm super happy with this. So I'm going to pop the other section back on. I'm going to show you guys what that looks like on the inside. So this is the turret with that uppermost level taken off. you can see that there's really not much going on inside of it right now. We're of course going to add full-fledged interior in there. Just haven't added it quite yet, but the thing I actually did want to highlight was the fact that the ladder does come all the way up. So the ladder is going to come all the way up throughout the entire turret, just to, you know, have it make a logical sense in the Lego world, giving them access to all the levels. But yeah, left plenty of space in there for us to work with and be able to add some pretty cool details and stuff that just makes sense inside of the turret. So all in all, I'm sure it'll be a very exciting process to be able to work on. And that is the look at the turret so far. This is the reason this video didn't come out super early today. I wanted to get a lot of progress on this just to be able to show you guys it, because I think that it's coming along very well. There's so much that's just going into this one part of the MOC, and I'm super excited that we get to work on these things. I guess just to give you guys a final look, this is the trench section that we finished up on the last update as well. Got a lot of the pipes and wires going through it, and then this part is actually pretty cool because not only does the pipe actually come from the inside of the turret, which I thought looked pretty sweet, but this one over here actually curves around, and at the very edge of the MOC it just connects to the door right there. So I thought that was a pretty cool thing to be able to add into it, because what I realized was that because this stopped right here, all the pipes we had were going to be too long, they wouldn't be able to stop at the very edge. So this is a pretty nice compromise just to be able to have it come across there, and I think it actually ended up looking pretty freaking cool. So to give you guys another view of this guy coming through the tunnel, another view of the turret, and let's move on to the end of the video. Alright guys, that's going to finish up the video this week. Once again, always hope that you enjoy what we did. I'm super amped to see that this thing is coming together so well. Kind of disappointed that we ran out of the cheese slope, so we kind of had to stop working on the tunnels, but hopefully this upcoming week we'll get the new order that we placed in, and we'll be able to continue working on those aspects of the MOC. As for everything else, the turret is coming along really well, I think. Guys, let me know what you think about this turret design. Do you think that it looks good just insofar as the scale of the MOC? Are you happy with all the details in it? Do you have any ideas for what we can do for the interior? Because we have 3 rooms in it that we're going to have to fill, so we're going to be looking for some ideas of some cool, accurate stuff, and maybe even some Easter eggs to throw in there. So guys, let me know what you think about that in the comment section below. And finally, like I said before, we're going to have to start ramping up progress on this MOC. We really need to start just banging out a lot of the details in that cave section, because it's going to be such a large piece of the MOC. We've already done so much, I feel, so I'm not, feeling bad about this in any way, but I'm kind of realizing more and more that we really do need to get started on the cave section and figure out everything that we're going to put in that, because it's going to be such a large part of the MOC. And looking at just the scale of everything, the cave section is going to be really big. It's probably going to have to be like a 4-foot tall mountain, which is absolutely ridiculous, but in order to make sure everything looks good together, that's what it's kind of looking like. So of course that could change. Who knows what could happen as we move on into that part of the MOC, but that's kind of what I'm thinking right now. So super exciting time for the MOC. I'm hoping in these next 2 weeks we can just completely finish the trenches, get that destroyed turret done on that side as well, and then we can go full-fledged into the cave section, because that's honestly going to be an entire other MOC in itself. A lot of people ask me, are you guys going to do the wall? Are you guys going to do the cave? And yes, we were doing both of those parts, but I think a lot of people don't understand that our cave section is going to be absolutely massive. We're going to have so many rooms in it, so many sections in it. We're going to have 2 of those resistance transports that they take to it. I would love for us to be able to do some sort of hangar bay towards the top, that those ski speeders would go out through the top, and then you'd be able to see, I guess, access the door in the door that they would fly through in order to get to the battlefield. So a lot of details I really want to add to this MOC, which means we're going to have to start really getting into the cave section, because that's going to be a very intricate part of the MOC, but a very excited part of the MOC. So I'm kind of anxious to get that done, but I'm also excited because we've been getting so much progress done, and I think this MOC is really becoming something special. So that's going to finish up the video this week, guys. As I always say, if you like what we do, go ahead, support the channel by hitting the subscribe button, support the video by hitting the like button, comment if you think you have anything substantive to add to it, and we'll be back again very soon with some great content. Take care, guys.